Alright, I want to do my best to explain one of the most complicated parts in the book of Revelation, and that is the Revelation judgments. The Revelation judgments. The first 5 chapters are the pre-seals chapters, and then chapters 6, the Revelations chapter 6 to 19 gives us all the seals, all the bowls of wrath, all the trumpets of tribulation. The part that people don't understand, well, first of all, then the last 3 chapters are the conclusion of the book. So this is the middle, this is the seals. It's really all about the seals. It's all about the seals because the trumpets and the bowls of wrath all happen within the 7 seals. Now, this is very interesting. Check this out. Seals 1 to 6 tells us the way things are going to unfold in Revelation chapter 6. Revelation chapter 6, all by itself, tells us the Revelation judgments. At the end of Revelation 6, we see Christ coming back on a horse to conquer his enemies. This is the first telling of the Revelation judgments. What I'm trying to tell you is that the Revelation judgments that happen between Revelation 6 and 19, which is the seals portion of the book of Revelation, you have the pre-seals chapters, you have the post-seals chapters, here are the seals chapters, and the judgment revelations, the Revelation judgments are told in a story. That story is told 2 times. If you can understand that the Revelation judgments is told 2 times in this part of the book, you'll understand those complicated chapters. The first time the story is told about the judgments coming upon the earth all the way until Christ comes back, the first time it's told is in 1 chapter, Revelation chapter 6. We see the beginning of sorrows, we see the great tribulation, we see the persecution of the saints, and then we see Christ coming back at the end to judge the wicked and pour out the wrath. All of that happens in 1 chapter. Then, seal 7, because you got seals 1 to 6 over here. Seals 1 to 6, seal 7. Seal 7 is chapters 8 to 19. Now you'll say, what about the wrath? The 7th trumpet, because in the 7th seal, we hear the same story told all over again. This is a 1 chapter story. This is very vague. It doesn't have much details. There's nothing about the Antichrist in it. It's very generalized. Then starting, chapter 7 just tells you who's going to be involved. Lists a couple groups of people. But starting in chapter 8 to 19, we see the entire thing told in slowed down, intricate detail. Chapter 8 begins the trumpets. Chapter 11 is the 7th trumpet and the resurrection rapture takes place. After that, the 7th trumpet also signifies the opening of the bowls of wrath, the vials of wrath. So after the 7th trumpet blows, you see the vials of wrath opened up in sequential order, right? They're actually back to back, back to back. And by the time we get done with the wrath and the fall of Babylon, we're in chapter 19. What happens in chapter 19? The same thing that happens in chapter 6 at the end of it. Christ is coming back. Same exact ending. Why is it the same ending? Because it's the same story. Revelation 6 isn't designed to give us a lot of mouth-watering, intricate details. This is the first time it's told. The Revelation judgments is told in 1 chapter, Revelation chapter 6, and then it begins to tell the same story for a second time, but gives you more details. And it starts with the trumpets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. Then, right after the resurrection rapture, you have the vials of wrath, 7 in a row. At the 6th and 7th vial of wrath, Christ is coming back down, just like he's coming back down here. At the end of this chapter, Christ is coming back. At the end of these chapters, Christ is coming back. Does he come back twice? He's only coming back once. And by the way, the second coming does involve the appearing in the sky to gather the elect, the gathering together of the elect. And then there's a small break before the physical return. That's not 2 comings. I don't know why people say that the second coming of Christ is 2 times. It's only 1 time. First, he gathers us. And after we're judged and have the wedding supper, we come back down after the wrath is poured out. So I hope this helps you understand. If you are open-minded and you're willing to take a different and fresh perspective on the book of Revelation, we're talking about the seals part of the book of Revelation, because chapter 20 is the 1,000-year millennial kingdom. Chapters 21 and 22 is a picture of heaven and what it's going to be like in heaven. Okay? This is chapter 6. So chapters 1 to 5 have nothing to do with the judgments that are poured out into the world. There's a couple of things that are taking place right there. The letters to the churches, the vision of Jesus, and so on and so forth. This part right here is the revelation judgments of God. This part is the most complicated. The scholars are baffled. People don't really get it. There's so many different ways of looking at it. The simplest, most accurate way of looking at it is chapter 6 is telling the judgments, all of it. The seals are open. The trumpets are going to be blown during that time, even though you don't read about it. The vials of wrath poured out at the wrath of God when he comes down. In seal 6, you see the wrath has come. The wrath of the Lamb has come. We read about all those details over here. When the 7th seal is open, it's not chronological to the 6 seals. It's just telling the same story over again. But to get a broader picture, God has divided it into 7 seals. He's given us the first 6 seals in an overview of what it's going to be like. The 7th seal is more information. It comes after the overview. That's why 7 comes after 6. Comes after it because he's not going to give us the details about the Antichrist and the scorpion stingings and the men break out with great sores who had the mark of the beast. All that stuff is in here buried and hidden. It's just not talked about. So God takes a slow path here, a slow path and a very quick overview path. So if you can understand the book of Revelation like that, I think you're going to have some good understanding, and it'll open you up to more revelation about this book. Keep that in mind. And it makes perfect sense, because what we have here is 6 seals, right? Let's go like this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seals. 6 is the number of man. 6 days of creation. 6,000 years of human history. God has put the whole seals that are in that one chapter, chapter 6, 6 seals, and the end is at 6. The millennial kingdom over here is the 7th day. Seal 7 is just telling the same story over. It's repeating the same story, except it's telling you things it did not say over here. Okay? So keep that in mind. So inside this, for instance, seal 5 is the trumpets being blown. Right? And seal 6 is the wrath of God. So you can see it's in there, but it's not discussed in detail yet. Over here in these chapters, as we break down these chapters 8 to 14, you see the tribulation period. You see what's going to happen in seal 5. What does seal 5 say? The death and persecution of the Christians who believe in Jesus are going to be killed. That's going to happen over here. And you see chapter 13, you see chapter 12, the persecution of the elect taking place. That correlates to this. All right? Chapter 6, when Christ comes back to pour out the wrath, correlates with chapters 16, 17, 18, and 19. When Christ comes back, when Babylon falls, when the wrath is poured out, and the heavy, heavy part of the wrath takes place in seal 6. Read what seal 6 is. The islands and mountains were not found, they disappeared. The men were hiding under the rocks, and the wrath of the Lamb is coming down. That's the vials of wrath. And the trumpets and vials of wrath are not told over here, as we discussed, but it's told in a longer, detailed version over here in seal 7. Seal 7 is the same story as Revelation chapter 6. It's the same story. So keep that in mind. I love you guys. Thanks for your donations and prayers and support. I'll see you in the live streaming on the weekends. Every weekend we live stream on our channel, and we talk about the book of Revelation on Sunday. So I hope to see you there. Thanks for your donations as well. Peace.